Welcome. Thank you for clicking the link. Thank you for watching. I know I'm a little late to the party, but I'm here to talk about the new Marvel MCU movie, Thunderbolts asterisk New Avengers. I liked it. I know it's become kind of the cool thing lately to dunk on Marvel and say, that's not what they used to be. And it's true. They are not what they used to be. And that's okay. I would say anything after Endgame and before the new Captain America Brave New World can go all into the same trash dump. You know, I'm not interested in rewatching any of that stuff, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm quick to jump back on the bandwagon and be one of those people who says Marvel's back every time they do a good movie. Oh, Guardians 3. They're cool. They can hang out with Captain America and this new Thunderbolt squad. And speaking of hanging out, let's get straight into the linchpin of the whole movie. Victoria, she did not think that these antisocial, anti-hero criminals, let's be honest, would join up and form a team to go against her. I'll give her that. It is a pretty good plan to have this guy kill that girl and this girl kill that guy and have them round robin each other. She did not count on them announcing their plans out loud. I mean, who would have seen that coming? The writers kind of made it happen so that the movie could happen. But point is, she didn't see that happen. So it's actually not the worst plan on earth, especially the whole incinerator and erase the evidence. It's a pretty rock solid plan. I don't know why people are hating. It's only a Marvel movie. It's not got to be like Mission Impossible level perfect. But the 1 in a million happens, and sure enough, they do form a team. And you know what? For the most part, my friendships have been built on shared experience and shared levels of degeneracy. Do we have things in common, things we can relate to one another with? And once we have those things in common and we want to relate to one another, can we have fun? Are you going to be a wet blanket, or are you going to be a little too much fun? You know, everyone has that one friend who's a little too much fun. Can we meet right in the middle and just be chill, you know, boys being boys, hanging with the crew, not like overboard crazy dude, and also not like underboard, you guys are so lame. So I feel like this group of individuals is right in that chill zone. You know, they're a little off kilter, but they're not totally out to lunch. They can kick it. So it's my sense that this group of criminals has relatively the same amount of dirt under their fingernails, and for that reason, they can bond over the experience of having to escape this death trap, and by following their own selfish instincts, they are kind of forced to work together. And once they have that momentum going, it was kind of inevitable that they form a team to get their revenge. That's what criminals do. So I rather enjoyed that the Thunderbolts coming together was not so forced, and they took its time, but it also made sense within the plot. And it took these B-list, C-list, D-list characters, let's be honest, and put them into a situation where it didn't have to be A-list. But it was a fun, cool movie. I mentioned Guardians of the Galaxy earlier, and that first movie, when hardly anyone had heard of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and you're just getting to know them. And it was actually kind of, oh, wow, these guys are cool. I want to see more of this. So with the Thunderbolts, you've maybe seen them on Disney Plus. You maybe saw them in the Black Widow movie. You've been exposed to them maybe, but it's not necessary. Most movies you watch, you don't know the characters before watching them. When I saw Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, I knew who the Ninja Turtles were. I didn't know who Kino was, but Kino was pretty badass. I didn't need a pamphlet on who Kino was. I was able to watch as a 4-year-old and learn who the character was. So all these people trashing about how they haven't seen this or they haven't seen that, like, get over yourself and just watch the movie as it is. You don't need to see every MCU movie for it to make sense. Not this particular property. And speaking of which, this particular property, the Thunderbolts, didn't have that exact MCU Marvel feel, that like quippy Disney kid glove tone. It had jokes, it had humor, but it didn't have that distinct Marvel signature humor. And the action, it was not overly CGI. Obviously, they had effects. You can't do the Void or Sentry without effects, but a lot of them was just punching and kicking, shooting guns. You can do so much of that practically. And I thought a lot of the fight choreography was cool. The gun stuff and the shield, you don't have to just be punches and kicks, but we've had so many CGI blasts and moonbeams to the sky that just having a gunfight or a ninja kung fu battle or whatever is a breath of fresh air within the Marvel universe. They're still wearing the fun costumes. They're not in street gear, but they're not losing me with the, oh, ridiculous of it all. This is all just CGI computer generated slop. No, these are actors doing stunts, and I like that for a change. And speaking of characters you don't have to know going into the film, Sentry, I knew he was the kind of weird, twisted Marvel version of Superman, that he had this dark side. I didn't know the name of it. I learned halfway through the movie, oh, it's going to be Void. They keep saying Void. I imagine the character's name is Void. But the Sentry thing, they kind of telegraphed to you. Either way, I just knew that he was very powerful. I knew he had a dark side. And I didn't need to have read any comics or seen any cartoon shows with Sentry in them for it to make sense within the movie. I was able to just sit down in the theater and learn as I go. This poor guy, Bob, he's messed up. Maybe he won't make the best Superman. He didn't have that Clark Kent loving family experience. He comes from a broken home. He's a drug addict. This is obviously not going to go well. If you've seen the movie Chronicle, you know what I'm talking about. This poor kid with the abusive dad with the God complex. He doesn't want to listen to nobody. He totally loses it after getting his self-confidence built up with all these powers. And that's the exact same thing we see with Sentry, where he's nurtured by Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character Victoria into being a more confident, better version of himself. Unlike in Chronicle, where this kid really has friends who are there for him, and he's just so messed up that he can't see these friends for what they are. Sentry is manipulated by the real villain of the movie, and once he finds out that this was all just a manipulation, that's when ish hits the fan. That's when she's forced to hit that delete button. And dude, I guess you can't kill Superman. You can't kill a god, can you? I guess he goes into this gestation period, much like when he was in the box to be incinerated at their little evidence stash. They didn't realize that he was still alive. I guess, I don't know if this is from the comics, but it could be baked into the character that it's like an egg that needs to hatch. So they kill the Sentry and he hatches a whole new egg. He comes out as the Void. And we have the same kind of touchy-feely ending that we got at the end of Captain America, where how are you going to stop the Hulk? You can't stop the Hulk. All you can do is kind of, sun's going down real low, big boy. Can we talk this out, please? That's how he stopped the Hulk. And it was sort of how they stopped Sentry/Void. As Sentry is punching Void, he is giving into his dark side, and Void is taking over. And we have the gift of actually caring about Bob. Forget about Void or Sentry. Bob was introduced to the beginning of the film. We've been watching him the whole time. Unlike a Red Hulk who shows up at the last second, although to be honest, Harrison Ford was in enough of the movie for us to be like, oh, that's Harrison Ford. I care because that's Harrison Ford. Void definitely shows up late, and he's only in the movie for, 5 or 10 minutes, but he's so powerful. You can't stop him. So let's not waste time on trying to stop Void. Let's actually give the emotional payoff to the Thunderbolts going into the Void, chasing after their friend Bob, going to save him in order to save New York and probably the whole world if this Void shadow continues to spread. So here we have the showdown of the Bob, Sentry versus Void. I had heard going into the movie that the big group hug was how they saved the day, and it had me worried because it is an action superhero movie. You want to see some punches and kicks. But not only did we have action throughout the movie, but we have two versions of Bob, a character that we do care about who is doing the punching at the end of the movie. And it's this fury that they need to calm down. They need him to cool off. So there's actually a plot-driven reason as to why Yelena and the other Thunderbolts come in and hug Bob and then hug each other. They are all downtrodden members of society who have been underestimated and held back, and they want to do something right for a change. And not only do their lives depend on it, but their friend Bob's life and the fate of the world. Everything lies on this group hug. It is what's necessary in order to save everyone. So it had some payoff. It had pathos. It had gravitas, and it was cathartic. I enjoyed the group hug. I got to give it to them. And I enjoyed the movie overall. One last thing I want to leave with is the asterisk. New Avengers. I mentioned a certain level of degeneracy earlier in the video, and I appreciate that. They are not the Avengers. They are something completely different. They are the Thunderbolts, and I don't need them to be the new Avengers. I think of something a little more pristine, a Captain Rogers, a Thor, God of Asgard. I don't think of these drunken idiots, these criminals who I enjoy. You can have the Suicide Squad and you can have the Justice League. It's totally fine. You don't have to just throw the A on something because profit margins are down. Let's be honest. I actually think it's a better business decision to have the Thunderbolts over here and make some room for a new Avengers team. You could have Doctor Strange. That has a little more prestige to it. As I mentioned, you'd have to back up the dump truck, but you could still have Jeremy Renner. He's around. Lil baby Tom Holland, we can work out a deal. Point is, you can get enough characters that don't have all that dirt under their nails to be the new Avengers, and then you could have a Thunderbolts on the side now that we're not getting that same rotation of the Guardians to fill that same void of, oh, this is a little something different. You could have your two flavors playing off of each other and making fans on both sides of the aisle happy and bringing them together, getting that synergy going that the MCU really needs. We don't need everything to be playing into the Infinity Stones, but just a little touch of reaching out. Hey, we got this gal from that movie. We got this guy from that Disney show. We got them all on one squad that's actually worthy of a movie. Check it out. You're going to like it. I would rather a Thunderbolts 2 than a new Avengers. I've been your boy, Diesel Tyme. Let me know your thoughts. Do you like them as the new Avengers, or do you prefer them as the Thunderbolts? Do you think the plan of trying to have them kill them all was a good one or a bad one? Let's create a little debate and discussion down below. Also, leave a like and a subscribe. That means so much. It helps get the word out, grow the channel. Oh boy, I've been your boy, Diesel Tyme. Thanks for watching, and peace. Julia.